Hey guys, what's happening? I'm in Colorado right now doing some drum recording, but today is also a big day for my Japanese. That's because this week I finished, I passed a really big milestone, and that's that I finished the Fluent Forever 625 list, and that's huge. So now I'm ready to start moving on to other things. Um, at this point, I know a little bit more than 625 words. I think it's more like 670. And I know all of the kanji that go with those words, which is, I don't know, 400 something, 450 maybe. And from that 625 list, I learned 550 of those words. So I skipped some of those, mainly because I skipped some words that I don't use. Okay, so this is my fourth time going through this list after French, Italian, Norwegian, and now Japanese. So I've seen some patterns. There are some words that I just never use. I don't have an office job, so I never talk about secretaries and managers and stuff like that. There's some other words like, I don't know, inches and feet. I never use those, at least in the languages I've learned so far. I would more be talking with centimeters and meters and stuff like that. So anyway, I've skipped some words like that, and I've also skipped some other ones that I know are going to come up later anyway in frequency lists. So I just want to get on to the next phase, which is more using sentences. And I've already started this, but I just need to be doing sentences all the time instead of just isolated words. So it's okay that I skipped a few of these things because the whole point of this list is to build a foundation in the language using simple words and pictures and all that jazz. So I need to get to more advanced material basically as soon as I can. So that's what I'm going to talk about today is what am I going to do now? Typically what I would do in a language at this point, I finish the 625 list and then I move directly into something like this. This is a frequency dictionary. This is the one I use for French. And it lists the words in order of frequency. And I would do the first 1,000 and then the first 2,000 and just keep going until I start feeling comfortable with the vocabulary that I have. So that was kind of my plan for Japanese is I was going to get actually probably this exact same book for Japanese. They make the Routledge series for Japanese also, and I really liked this book. I have the Spanish one too. Um, and so I was going to just do that and make my own flashcards for everything and just learn words in frequency order. Um, However, I'm going to try something a little bit different because I have become aware of some resources that I didn't know existed at the time that I started doing this Japanese thing. So I have to give a big shout out to someone here for this part, and many of you will know him as Nuke Marine on the internet. He's a very active user on Reddit and YouTube and just in general with the Japanese language learning community. And he's created a lot of really great resources for people, spreadsheets of stuff you can learn, as well as a bunch of courses on Memrise, and just a lot of really great stuff to help out people learning Japanese. And early on in this year, he made a video kind of responding to my plan for the year, how I want to learn Japanese, and he offered a bunch of really great suggestions as far as resources go, and I really liked a lot of what he said because I felt it was totally compatible with how I wanted to learn, the style I wanted to learn and approach Japanese with. But he turned me on to some resources that I didn't know existed. And so that's where this ties into the next step here. So in my original plan for how I plan to learn Japanese, or whatever that's called, I said I'm going to learn the first 1,000, I don't know, by after 6 months or something, and then by the end of the year I want to know 2,000 words or something. Okay, and that's based on my past experience with European languages. Because once you hit 2,000 languages. Once you hit 2,000 words, you're feeling pretty comfortable in that language as far as you can go out and socialize and communicate in that language. In Japanese, you need more like 5 to 6,000 words to hit that same level. And I don't know, I still don't know why that is exactly. I think and suspect that a lot of that has to do with how words are counted. Because in French, for example, I would count a verb like, I don't know, parler for speak. I would count that and all of its conjugations as one word. Whereas in Japanese, a lot of those conjugations seem to be counted as separate words. And anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, I need to learn a lot more than 2,000 words. And this is going to take time to make flashcards and to study and all that. So, there are a lot of pre-made flashcard decks out there, especially for Japanese. And generally, I try and stay away from those. It's not that I am inherently opposed to the idea, it's just that normally they're not made in the way that I like. And so it's worth it to me to put in the extra work to just make my own flashcards. So the way that I like flashcard decks to be made is that they're full of media. They have like pictures and recordings. In the case of Japanese, I want to be able to split up kanji into all the little pieces that I want. And I want to be able to personalize things. And also, a big part of it too is I want to keep a lot of it in Japanese. I want to be as much in Japanese as I can. So, in the past, when I had seen pre-made decks, most of the time it's just like a spreadsheet that's been exported. And it's got like two columns. One side is the Japanese word, and the other column has all of the English translations. And so you have this very basic flashcard format. And that wasn't something that I was interested in at all for Japanese. But there are a handful of really cool decks floating around out there. And the one that really caught my attention, that many of you will already be familiar with, is the Core series. So these are, you'll see them called the Core 2K or Core 6K, Core 10K. And these are like collections of 2,000, 6,000, 10,000 words in Japanese. That's all cool. It's basically, if it was just that, it serves the same purpose as a book like this. But what's really cool, excuse me, what's really cool about these core decks is that there's audio for all of them, and not only audio of words, but audio of full sentences for every single word in that list. And this is a huge, huge, huge thing. Especially in Japanese, it's really important to hear full sentences so you can hear the pitch, the melody, and the rhythm of everything, because it's not as simple as stringing together a bunch of individual words. To hear the whole flow of the phrase is really key. So this is an incredible resource, and it would be kind of silly to pass up on using it. So what I would like to do is take all of this great material, take advantage of it, especially the audio of full sentences, and import it into my own flashcard format. So again, like I said before, the main reason I haven't used pre-made decks for the most part to learn languages is that I don't like how they're made. But I can fix that. So I'm going to take all of this information, add my own images, because it doesn't come with images by default because of copyright stuff. But that's okay, because I'd rather search for my own images anyway. So I can do my same multi-search script in Japanese, find stuff from Google Images, stick it on the flashcards, blank out the words in the sentences that I want to do, just like I have been, and very quickly make a huge number of flashcards using a bunch of pre-made sentences and accompanying audio. So this process is going to be kind of similar to what I did with the kanji radical deck. So this is actually not even the first time with Japanese that I'm using a pre-made deck. Remember, because I learned pronunciation and hiragana and katakana using a pre-made deck. I also learned the kanji radicals with a pre-made deck. But with the radicals, I had to do a little bit of customization. So I want to kind of do the same thing with this core stuff, is import all of this material, suspend it all, and then go through it line by line and just very quickly. This doesn't have to take a long time. Add a couple images, blank out the words I want to learn on the sentences, make more flashcards for any other words in the sentence that I don't know, and then fill out the which options I want below in the card model for kanji flashcards and stuff like that. And so then very quickly I can start to build up a huge pile of flashcards with really high quality materials. All right, let's take a look at this spreadsheet. And again, the link is below in the video description. Also check out Luke Marine's YouTube channel as well as his Patreon account, which he recently started. Definitely consider supporting that because he's doing a lot of great work for Japanese learners. So if you go to that site and you find the gigantic Core 10K spreadsheet, it's going to look like this. We've got the Japanese words here, about 10,000 entries, okay, 10,000 words in Japanese. They're written in kanji here, written in kana for pronunciation here. You have the English translation, you have the sentence translation, you've got the Japanese sentence. So every single one of these 10,000 entries has an example sentence. You've got furigana readings for those kanji and the sentences, vocab audio, sentence audio, images. These do not come with this spreadsheet, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be making my own images or inserting my own images. And you've just got all of this other stuff, like so much information per word. So this is like the vocab frequency. You've got information from remembering the kanji and all kinds of other goodies. So this is a really awesome resource. Now I want to point your attention to the left side here, and we have a bunch of different sorting orders, a bunch of different indexes here. And we have the original core index, which is kind of the order that this stuff was originally presented in. And then we have something really cool here, which is called the optimal sort order, or the new optimal sort order. There have been multiple iterations of this, I guess. So this optimal sort order is really cool because it takes the order of kanji, and this is from a book called 2001 Kanji Odyssey. And that book presented kanji in a very specific order, starting from very simple and then moving to more complex. This is a really handy order to be able to sort by, and a really handy order to be able to learn words in, because you can start with easier kanji and build upon the kanji that you've learned in the past in order to learn the kanji that are more complex in the future. So what I would like to do with this material is first learn the first 1,000 words in Japanese, the top most frequently used 1,000 words. So in the beginning of the list, the most frequently used word, it's used very frequently, and then this sort of like yield per word tails off like that, okay? So you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck at the very beginning. So I want to make sure I learn these 1,000 words first. And this will account for anywhere between 70 to 75% of daily Japanese, depending on where you get your numbers. I've seen lower and higher numbers, but anyway, it's a lot. It's a big chunk of what you need to know. So I want to get that out of the way first. So what I would like to do is, first of all, sort this list by vocabulary frequency, which it's not currently sorted by now. Okay, now it's sorted by optimal order. But I want to take this list, sort it by vocabulary frequency, which is one of these columns here. Then take the first 1,000 entries of that copy that into a new spreadsheet, and then sort those 1,000 words by the optimal order. And so this ensures that I learn the most important words first and that I learn them in the optimal order. After that, it becomes a little bit less important which words you learn when, because you already have, say 70% of the daily usage. So after that, I'll probably take the remaining 5,000 words and just sort those by the optimal order and just do that for basically the rest of the year. As far as how to get all of this stuff into Anki, that's probably another video's worth of stuff on its own. So maybe I'll dive into that in a future video soon. But I just wanted to show that in case any of you that are savvy with Anki and want to get started with this, you can try this idea. And I just want to give you a quick preview of what this can look like if you customize this material a little bit. So if we go into Anki, I've imported all of this stuff from the spreadsheet. And this is just amazing because this happened in the blink of an eye, one click of a button, and suddenly I have like hundreds of flashcards here. By default, I suspended all of this stuff, so they're not showing up into my study sessions until I do a little bit of customization. So this is what the process looks like. I would take a word that I want to learn, let's say this one, to put in, and most of the data that I need is already here. So we've got the sentence and everything, the English translations, which are hidden from the flashcards, but I have them here. First of all, I want to add an image to this. It makes learning more fun and more effective, more memorable. So I can actually just search for, let's search for something in English that has to do with this sentence. So I can even just search for put notebook in bag, and if we're lucky we might get a picture of exactly that. So here we go. Look, the first one, it's someone putting a notebook in a bag. So we drag this image here, and then I just need to go and blank out the word that I want to learn, which is this thing, which is here. I'm going to leave that ta part because it's part of the conjugation, but I want to delete the root of that verb. And we're basically ready to go, unless I want to add other options. So for example, I can add a comprehension card. By default, it's only production cards that are being produced here, but if I put something in this field, I'll get a comprehension card. And then down here are all my options for kanji. So if I want to test various kanji options, do something like this. What is the verb? Or whatever it is. That's all I have to do, and then this is ready. So basically I just need to add a picture, blank out the sentence, and turn on any options for kanji if I need them, or mnemonics, and this thing is ready to go. So at that point I would unsuspend the card, and now it's in my study sessions. And then the end result of all of this is I have some really awesome flashcards that are in the format that I like them to be in. So here is my flashcard. I've got the sentence with the blank out and the picture just like I like it, just like I've been using, all of the same kind of answer stuff on the back, and all of the audio. 入れる and the full sentence audio. 彼はカバンに手帳を入れた And that is one way to make a lot of flashcards very quickly for Japanese. And that's it. That's what I'm going to be doing mainly for vocabulary for the rest of the year. Of course, I'll continue to work on grammar and to work with tutors and to speak and all of that good stuff. But for vocab, primarily this is it for the next 9 months and change. Again, links for all of this stuff are below. Again, a shout out and thank you to Nuke Marine for all of his help so far and for creating all of these awesome materials and compiling things and just trying to help people learn Japanese. So definitely check out his channels, his YouTube stuff, as well as his Patreon account. And again, consider contributing to that as that helps to facilitate the creation of the memorized courses and stuff like that. Anyway, that's it for this week. So thank you for watching, and thank you for all of your continued support and advice and suggestions and all of that. It's been really helpful, and I hope that I can give back something. I can at least share what I'm doing and share what's working and what's not. So I may not have all the answers, but I have my own experience to draw from. So I hope that we can all learn from that and that it helps in some way. Anyway, it's getting late and I'm rambling, so I'm just going to say thanks, and I will see you next week. Ciao!